I thank you all that are here in person, and I welcome anyone that's here virtually. This is the 12th meeting of the County Council Redistricting Commission, and as our normal procedure at the start of the meeting, we'll have each of the members of the commission introduce themselves, starting with Dr. Davis.
Good evening, Michelle Davis, District 1.
Lisa Belcastro, District 2.
Eric Rockel, District 3.
Cordell Grant, District 4.
Albert Harris, District 6.
Edward Kramer, District 7.
All right, thank you all for attending tonight's meeting. The first order of business is to approve the minutes from May 28th. We were sent the minutes by an email earlier in the week.
Move to approve the minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the minutes are passed. Next matter on the agenda is discussion of new maps or map revisions from the previous meeting. I'll ask Dr. Davis to comment about the two maps that she introduced.
Really quickly, I think Commissioner Grant had a map that he'd like to talk about.
Yes, thank you. What I would like to do is I would like to formally adopt the Woodlawn Revised C and introduce that and adopt that map as my own. Regarding the Woodlawn map, I think that it's important to acknowledge a few things. At the start of this very commission, this redistricting commission, we were tasked with a few things. And more importantly, we were tasked with ensuring that there were at least two majority black districts, or we're gonna create one majority black district and a second opportunity district with black preferred candidates that are gonna be likely to succeed. I believe that the Woodlawn approach has one of the most sound legal defenses towards the VRA. And for that reason, I would like to adopt it. Now, over the last few weeks, we've been introduced a few maps from the East Side Commission. All right, my East Side colleagues, we have been introduced other maps that I believe deviate from that purpose, right? Overall, the goal of this commission was to make sure that we were in compliance with the VRA, which outlined by Judge Grigsby in her opinion. She wanted to acknowledge and ensure that there was going to be opportunity for black individuals or black constituents to be able to run or have an opportunity to run, not to say, for instance, that has to be the case. As I look here, I remember from last meeting, we were introduced from two East Side Commission maps, one from Mr. Kramer and one from our chair, one that did not provide the two black districts, and another which may have provided the two black districts, but it went under the deviation of that 55%, which may have or would create a lot of difficulty or challenges for individuals who may have wanted to run, and then you would have to look at the different demographics of whether people have that voting opportunity, whether people are at the right voting age, etc. I also will have liked to meet with the East Side to discuss what that would look like. Another concern is reason why I'm adopting the Woodlawn approach is because I it legally provides a voice for black constituents. What do I mean by that? There's a high concentration of black individuals on the West Side. And so it needs to reflect the voices and the powers of that. I don't feel as if all the maps that are presented are effectively going to comply with the VRA, but as it stands with the Woodlawn approach, it is the most safe map to present to the council. And now you.
I want to thank Commissioner Grant for bringing this forward formally tonight. And I want to thank Commissioner Grant for the voice that he has lifted up throughout the last 4 months for the Woodlawn area. I also want to thank Mr. Keith Dorsey and Miss Linda Dorsey Walker for the work that they have done lifting up the Woodlawn approach.
1,000%.
1,000%. I think that it's remarkable what they've accomplished. The fact that we are here because of Linda Dorsey Walker and the work that she has done across the county to advance the movement to add individuals to the Baltimore County Council, and that can't be lost on any of us. The work that they've done to organize residents from across the entire county to advocate on behalf of the Woodlawn approach cannot be lost in this moment. And again, I want to thank them for that. I again want to thank Commissioner Grant for what he has lifted up and the voice that he has brought to the Woodlawn area. And I look forward to the map that we'll see next, because his voice and Linda Dorsey Walker's voice and Keith Dorsey's voice and the voices of all those that advocated for it are the reason that the next map is being brought forward. So thank you, and I appreciate it.
Before, I just want to say one thing related to the Woodlawn approach, and it's not a deviation, it's just more of an understanding of how important and strong it is, why it should be considered. One, the Woodlawn approach was heavily supported. Thank you, Commissioner Belcastro, for acknowledging that as well. Thank you. But as well as you acknowledging that there were a large amount of constituents from the community, elected officials, organizations, all in support of Mr. Dorsey and Ms. Linda Dorsey Walker's approach and iteration of this. I also believe that they created strong and safe districts so that the voice of the Black, brown, and marginalized communities would meet and exceed the federal orders created by Judge Grigsby to ensure the Black districts. They also maintain a reasonable standard of deviation between the percentages as well. And at that point, I do yield. I just want to make sure that we acknowledge the Woodlawn approach and its effect on Black, brown people, which this lawsuit and order was designed and designed to support. Thank you.
Am I correct in understanding that, Mr. Grant, you're introducing a map that's slightly different than the last Woodlawn approach that we've seen?
I am adopting a Woodlawn C revised map. We have seen that map. It's on our GRS system.
So you have not made any changes to the Woodlawn C?
I have not made any changes. I've worked with Mr. Dorsey and Ms. Walker on that map specifically.
And is it C1, 2, or 3?
Revised C2.
C2.
Correct.
No, that's not the last one, then.
No, that's C3. I'm adopting C2, which is the revised.
And just for the purpose of clarification, this is Mr. Grant's endorsement of a map. It's not the adoption by the commission at this point in time.
Correct.
Point of clarification, because again, I'm trying to understand what's being presented here. At our last meeting, we were tasked with actually 3 maps to look at. I looked at those 3 maps, and I made my decision on what maps I chose. I'm not saying that I endorse one or the other at this particular time. But maps that came in after the last meeting, it's just a lot of, to me, you know, it seems like every week we have a different map. I'd like to get down to the bottom line of what maps we're actually looking at. I only looked at really 3. And if there's more than those 3 that we need to choose from, I need to have those presented to me now.
With regard to that, Mr. Harris, at the last meeting, I stated that the commission members should choose 2 or 3 of the maps that we've already seen. So that would include maps like iteration 1, iteration 2. It would include the 2 Woodlawn maps, C.
Several, but the last two are them.
Yeah, the last 2. It would include other maps, a map that Mr. Kramer submitted last time, the map that I submitted the last time.
Okay,
So that's the universe
okay, again,
up to this point that you were asked to come up with some, quote, finalist, unquote.
okay, again, at the last meeting, again, if I can recall correctly, the statement was we were to view 3 maps, 2 to 3 maps. Those 2 to 3 maps consist of Ed's map, the map you presented, and the Woodlawn C map. Those were the 3 maps that I looked at. And if there's any other maps, I mean, at this point, if there's any other maps, then I need to be clarified. I need to be clear on what maps we're actually looking at.
Well, again, I state what I just did. And in fact, I don't have it in front of me right now, but I think the email that I sent out to the members early in the week stated that it was more than just those 3, but I wanted the members to come up with 2 or 3 choices as finalists for the groups of maps we've seen so far. The only one that wouldn't qualify under that sense would be the maps that Commissioner Davis has submitted this week. And quite frankly, I like the second of her maps, and I'd want to at least have a discussion about the positives and negatives of that particular map.
Happy to discuss when
Yeah.
you're ready.
Okay. Just one second. So, Mr. Harris, do you think you have an understanding of what I'm talking about at this point?
Well, I'm clear with what you're speaking of. And again, I'm ready to move on.
Okay. All right. With that, I'll ask Dr. Davis to present the maps that she has prepared.
Thank you, Chair Rocco. So I would like to present the Baltimore County 2-2 revision. I did share Baltimore County 2-2 and yesterday as a supplement or as a replacement due to a few tweaks and edits. I shared out the Baltimore County 2-2 revision. That's the title of the map. Commissioner Harris, I just want to directly respond in that I was very clear on our chair's directive and his request. The reason for yet another map is because after I sat down several more hours to review every single map that had been presented, in addition to performing a data analysis of each of the districts and how the populations were broken out, there was nothing that I could personally say in good conscience that I was okay as a holistic view from what had been published there. If there's something that you have that you would like to consider, happy to entertain that, but I just wanted to add that to give a little bit of context and flavor. So I did exactly what we were requested, but I did something additional as well, okay? So with the Baltimore County 2-2 revision, And as we see here on the monitor, I'm very hopeful that we can see that this map gives us a little bit of a different presentation from what we've seen thus far in terms of something that gives us a more holistic, aesthetically pleasing look where there is no intentional, as we've heard people perceive or believe that there was intentional gerrymandering. So there is no more carving, no more cutting through, no more kind of weird shapes and whatever the other language was that we've heard. And I apologize for looking down. I left my notepad in another bag. But what I want to definitely call out about the map is that I believe, and even after talking to several commissioners around the table, that the map as it is today, it is definitely in alignment with the Voter Practicing Act. There is nothing here that I believe suggests that there is not fair and equitable rights for those of color to be able to run in a potential election and have a fair opportunity to secure an election. The map, again, is also very compact. You see the visual aesthetic there. Communities are whole. We are showing by way of this map that there is definitely opportunity for a BIPOC district on the east side of Baltimore County, and it also illustrates the fact that there is potential for a BIPOC district also on the west side of Baltimore County, leaving intact two majority Black districts, okay? In addition to that, I believe that this map shows progression that we have definitely felt and seen per over probably 1,000 emails on top of the testimony. I have literally read every single email that Adam has forwarded to us that clearly we all have access to see what comes in and out of the mailbox, yes? In addition to that, based on the very first public meeting we had, the virtual meeting, which was a very brutal meeting, I'm gonna be very honest about it. So there was a lot that our county constituents had to say that really gave a pause and the cause for me to say, let me go back to the very first iteration of a map, which we all know from the testimony at the public meeting, in addition to several hundreds of emails that came immediately following that virtual public meeting, that map was clearly problematic for our county constituents. And that's nothing against anybody around the table. I'm just speaking about what the people have said, okay? In addition to that, at both public meetings, while I was not present on the east side of the county for that meeting because I was ill, I did get feedback from people in the area that I know of who shared with me because I saw them in Randallstown and they showed up at the Randallstown meetings. At the Randallstown meeting, we heard a lot of flavor about what was and what was not, but the one thing that stuck out for me was the fact that we had several people state, we believe the commission has began to listen. So from iteration 1, which was a total no for most, to iteration 2, several constituents, as well as county leaders who were present at that Randallstown meeting, clearly stated that iteration 2 of the map showed progress, but we were still not there. I think that was the exact quote of one person, but we were still not there. So I believe that this 2-2 revision shows progression from a collective of all of the meetings that we've held for our public to come forward to provide testimony, as well as the thousands of emails that we've received thus far, and the fact that we as a commission we are tasked to make a recommendation that will be submitted as a final report to our county council on the 9 council districts for, we all know what reason, right? So this is a recommendation. I cannot say that this is the map that is the wherewithal, but I can say that I strongly support this map compared to what we have, what we don't have, and the verbiage that we've heard, but we've not seen an actual tangible map that shows how that verbiage should actually play out. So for this reason, Chair, I am in support of this Baltimore County 2-2 revision. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. I have some comments about it, but I'll let any other members of the commission go before I make my comments.
I want to thank Commissioner Davis for putting this map forward, and I agree with her sentiments that this map is, in my opinion, the best culmination of all of the testimony that we've heard over the last 4 months from our community. We see Catonsville whole, we see Woodlawn whole, we see Pikesville whole, we see a BIPOC district on the east side, which was one of the strongest points of advocacy that we've heard throughout this process. I'm gonna keep it short, but I also really would like to acknowledge, again, Commissioner Grant. Throughout this process, he has watched his district that he has advocated for fiercely be cut up twice in this process. And he has continued to tell us, think about Woodlawn. He's been a staunch advocate for Woodlawn.
Can I interject?
Yeah.
The purpose of that is the West Side has taken the brunt of the diversity in terms of constituents. You know, I think that if we look at Baltimore County as a whole, it is completely diverse, but initially we were only cutting on the West. And those are our most, those are the communities that we really need to listen to. And so I think that it's really important that while we go through these maps, we acknowledge the voices of the people who came out every day and doing the community work. They are sitting in all of these letters and really talking to us. And so that is the reason. So thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for lifting that up. I certainly don't want to leave anyone out in the work of the entire community, but I also want to thank you personally because personally, Commissioner Grant, I wasn't listening to you very well in the beginning. And I want to apologize to that. And I wasn't listening very well to the community. And I want to apologize for that. But what we have here is a Woodlawn that is whole. And that is because of the community members that came out. And again, also the words of you. And I do want to lift you up as well. And I appreciate you wanting to put the community at the forefront.
Thank you. And I also want to thank you for trying to listen to everyone and trying to do the right thing for everyone. You know, a lot of times we can't make everyone happy, but I see that you had good faith.
Thank you. I support this map wholeheartedly, and I look forward to the opportunity to vote on it.
Any other members have some comments? Okay, I'll take this opportunity to make some comments. Commissioner Davis, I'm very happy with this map. That being said, there's good things and there's some not so good things. So please take my opening statement as the overall feeling that I have. Okay. First, with regard to the map just generally, it didn't pass all of the integrity test issues. So we've got a couple different things there. We've got little slivers on Philadelphia Road that needs to be assigned to a different district. We've got a sliver over on Route 40 just east of Johnny Cake between districts 1 and 2 that's shown as part of District 3. That's going to have to be corrected. We've also got some issues with regard to the target population for each district. And let me see which one that is. Bear with me a second. Yeah, we've got District 4 that's below the target by more than 5%. And we've got District 6 that is just slightly above the 5%. So that the combination of those two, the overall range is like 10.47%, and it ideally would be 10% or less. So that's got to be looked at, and I'm sure we can. Another thing, and again, this is Eric Rockel speaking as the District 3 representative finally, other than maps that I have produced, we've seen a map that doesn't separate Lutherville, Timonium, and Cockeysville. I can't tell you how much I thank you for that, okay? And I'm sure the 375 emails that we've received, more than any other community so far, are going to appreciate this as well. So thank you again for that. I have a little tweak I'd like to make to add to that central district and take away a little bit from one of the other districts with an offset. I've already done it, and the offset is certainly possible. And we're talking about adding about 800 and some people to the central district, and then taking other parts of the central district and giving it to the adjoining district. I guess that's what, 4 in the yellow? Yeah, my eyes, I should have brought my glasses, but I didn't. So the only other comment, and it's not for me a make or break comment, but I still have problems with the district on the east side extending to the east of Maryland Route 43, okay, and including the Green Lake community. I think it seems, again, for me, very natural for that district, that BIPOC district, to stop at Route 43 so that the east side of 43 is with District 8. But overall, a very fine job, and thank you.
Council, are we in real time able to address the concerns that Chair Rockel has brought up and see what that does to demographics, see what that does to the integrity check as well?
Yeah, actually, bear with me because we're going to have to do a little bit of collaborative driving. So in the border between District 8 and 6 in the Kearney area, right? Yeah. There's a little part that goes east of Harford Road and is bounded south by Joppa Road. If you move that portion to District 8, you have that will address the population issue.
Are we able to see the data?
Yeah, and in fact, while we're holding for that, let me call out a couple of the population numbers myself. So, District 7, the total adjusted population is 98,176, and the Black voting age population of District 7 is 37.38. The overall minority voting age population would be 44.99. So just a hair under 55%. Districts.
I have a question about that. I think that's good, but with that, with the increase in the voting rights or the voting age, how? You ready? Okay. Does it pass the Jingles test?
That is a great question, one that is complicated to answer, but in terms of, let me put it this way. There are some critical missing pieces that really only a demographics expert who is actually trained in VRA analysis can answer. For example, does the different minorities who make up District 7, mainly Black and Hispanic, with also an Asian population there too, do they vote cohesively?
Right.
Generally, I have done some very basic, just looking at the precincts in this area. They do tend to vote, the precincts in Rosedale underneath the Beltway tend to vote the same way as the Rosedale, Nottingham precincts above the Beltway. So, but again, all I'm doing is
Yeah,
looking at
I just want to
2022 and 24 just general results from, say, Senate primary or, Councilmanic. It's not the same, but
Okay.
it's a very rough estimate.
Okay, thank you.
So, can you run the integrity check? So I'll just call out that I have actually looked at the null assignment and connectivity issues. They are all highways and waterways. So there's, I think, one or two it's essentially there's zero population census blocks.
Right.
That is something that, yeah, it's housekeeping. It's something that I can fix for you, or the GIS team, we can fix that for you. And in fact, that's one thing that I have done with each iteration. I go around, make sure that highways are consistent where possible, so that there's not, like one side of a highway in one district, the other not. So those last two, do not let that get in the way of this. This is a valid map. Yeah, these are just, think of them as clerical cleanups.
Yeah, housekeeping.
Yes.
Are we able to address in real time was it a precinct that you would like moved?
Shawan Road, north side. That very first yellow area. Well, it's a little more than that, but if someone will click on the blocks immediately adjacent to 83 there that are in yellow.
That is
one of 'em.
one census block. That's two. That's a zero population census block.
Yeah.
And that's the third for that area.
And then the next one over up to, which goes up to Cuba, the east side of Cuba Road, which is the dark. Farther south.
So
Other side. So it'd be the east side of Cuba Road. Right here. Yeah. Right, so that, yeah, that's all. Okay, yeah, that's the area.
Oh, sorry.
Should be an increase of 652 people total.
It's an increase of that amount to District 5, but a decrease in the same amount to District 4. And the issue from a equal population standpoint is that District 4 has now fallen below.
Right, yeah. But what I had said in my comment was we'd add on to the north of District 4 from District 5. Yep, yes. Yeah.
So for clarity, that will be adding to District 4?
Yes. Yeah.
So one thing that I might suggest is if you're willing to keep going with, these modifications, there is a bit of a good new dividing line. It's a very straight line that's kind of at a, I don't know, maybe a 60-degree angle. I believe that's a power line. Yeah. Typically, those do divide areas. I mean, sometimes they run right through people's farms, but considering there's no CDPs or recognized towns in this area, it's just all rural. We have a little bit more freedom to do stuff like that. One thing you could do is move the boundary of 4 over to that power line and then move 2 just slightly north. And that might do it.
Can I ask a question? What would be the benefit?
The benefit is it's purely population right now.
Okay.
District 4 is currently under what we've done right now is still too low.
Okay.
We're just trying to get up to at least 90,000 people.
Okay.
And I can tell you just as background, for the demographics of this area, it's pretty homogeneous. It's pretty much, super majority white. You're not getting, it's not like we're trading one demographic in this area for another. It's all roughly the same.
Yeah. The only thing I will add is before I made the comment and we started adjusting, District 4 was 5,166 people below. So, it might be appropriate to take a little bit from some other districts as well, because you're making up, again, the part that I suggested be added to the Northern County District only was under 700 people. You're not going to be able to make that all up.
One thing that I will add is that a lot of time was put in by the team, Michelle, and we worked collaboratively on this. The lines are very sensitive, Eric, and so we might not be able to accommodate what you're asking for in these changes.
If you can, I can.
You can live with it?
I can live with
Okay,
it.
all right. I would ask to put it, as long as, I want to work with you collaboratively on it, but if you are okay with it, I'd ask that we revert back to the original, just because if we start pulling from 2 or we start pulling from 4, it is going to impact.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, but again, it's not going to make up the total deficiency from District 4. It makes up what I suggested adding to the Central District, not the total deficiency.
One possible solution, since this is a commission that gives a recommendation, one thing that I could say is if in the report, we could have just an individual note that said, that points out that you would like that to be in District 5, but that the council can then kind of at their discretion figure out if
That
they
would
want to.
certainly be satisfactory, sure.
Okay.
Just one more question in relation to District 2. So actually, I'm gonna hold off on that question. I'm gonna hold off on it.
So, Chair, with that noted and what Adam just shared about commentary that can be placed in the report, how do we move forward to give consideration to this map and potentially maps that others may want to put forward?
Well, what I'd like to do is finish the members' comments about what they consider to be the finalists. We haven't heard from Mr. Harris. I don't know whether Ed has anything, Mr. Kramer, that he'd like to add about his finalist. And then we can circle back to your question, Dr. Davis.
Thank you.
Well, again, after viewing the maps that I previously viewed, I had originally thought of Ed's map to be submitted in my suggestion. But after reviewing the information that Dr. Davis gave and looking at the map, I'm inclined to agree with this map. Dr. Davis' original 2-2 map, is that what it's called?
No, this is the revision. There was a revision made to.
It's not a 2-2.
This is Baltimore County 2-2 revision. That's
Right, well, that's the one I'm inclined to agree with.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Harris. Mr. Kramer, any comments? Okay. So we've got Mr. Grants. He hasn't put in form of a motion, but he's indicated that he certainly, I know he's capable of doing that. Believe me. We've got Dr. Davis's 2-2 revision. I call it the afternoon map as opposed to the morning map. Are there any other maps we want to consider in a final vote?
I don't have another map that I would like to put forth at this time.
Okay.
I think the Woodlawn and this one are the ones that we should consider. That's my approach.
I'm going to throw in a contrarian point of view. I'm going to ask we also include Mr. Kramer's map from last time as one of the finalists.
That was the 2-2 that Mr. Kramer presented last week. Was it
Yes.
He called it
215?
Kramer 215.
5?
We would definitely, and I'm sorry, we would definitely have to review that because that map, and thank you, Commissioner Kramer, for your hard work and efforts. However, that map is not indicative of what we really need to see on the west side of Baltimore County.
I agree.
Okay. Well, if that's
My
the
email,
case,
I stated that.
if that's the case, no one would vote for it.
I didn't know if you had made revisions, so I apologize. Okay.
After speaking to Mr. Dorsey last week, I actually, that map there, to be honest, I'm not even satisfied with that map. But after speaking to Mr. Dorsey, I really believe that the numbers needed to be increased to at least over 55% in two of the districts over there. And the first map that we had put together, that was Lisa and myself worked on. I really, that map there with some changes on the west side is the map that I would consider more than any. Sean, I couldn't vote for this map here.
That's understandable. So,
Chops up the side too much. I met with community leaders last night from Greenlee and from Miramar Landing, and they do not want to be part of Rosedale.
okay, and I can respect that, and I think as we continue to echo, everybody's not going to be happy, and that includes us as commissioners. I mean, if Greenlee is a breaking point, obviously that is something that we can review to see what the conversation was surrounding Greenlee, or are there other areas, or was it just the Greenlee area?
Miramar Landing area, the Victory Villa area. I met with all the leaders last night from those areas.
Okay, so, and this is the last thing I'll say, I'm going to need to physically go, but I'm going to get back online. So, Chair, if we are coming to, if we get to the place where we have to give consideration, I am okay with putting forth multiple maps if that's what we have to do. But I would like the Baltimore County 2-2 revision to be put forth. And if I can make a motion, I'm happy to do that.
Yes, before you make your motion, just let me add one final thought about Mr. Kramer's map. Before Mr. Delana went away on his trip, in his email, he said the one that he would support was Mr. Kramer's map. So that is part of the reason why I suggested that as a third map beside the Woodlawn and your 2-2 map. Okay. So with that being said, We've got 2 commissioners that want to move that their maps be considered as finalists in the process. And I'll let Commissioner Grant go first.
I move to introduce the Woodlawn Revised C. That is a strong map that complies with the VRA, the numerosity, compactness, political cohesion, et cetera, that we consider that as one of the finalists. It's one of the final maps.
Okay. Is there a second? Yes.
Chairman, can I get a clarification? Are we just asking for maps that we consider to be recommendations?
We're asking for maps that the full commission will vote on next week as the final map to be approved by the commission.
Can I amend my motion? Can I amend my motion?
Yes.
Then I would like to make the amended motion of introducing the Woodlawn C revised map as a finalist and Dr. Davis's 2-2 Baltimore County map with a consideration of Woodlawn and kind of keeping that a little more outside of that. I would like to introduce those.
Okay, is there a second?
I'm not moving for the second. I'm just, again, one clarification. Are we asking about 3 recommendations, or are we asking about 3 maps to vote on?
Can I jump in? I'm wondering if we have enough votes to pass Michelle's map tonight. And so I would like to make a motion, if it's okay, to move to.
Well, in all due respect, I need to close out Commissioner Grant's motion if we don't have a second. Do we have a second? Okay, I'm not hearing a second, so the motion does not carry. Now,
I would like to make a motion that we adopt Commissioner Davis's map as the final map for recommendation to the council.
is there a second?
I move the second.
All right.
Would you like me to take the roll, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Mr. Rockel,
Pass and come back to me at the end of the vote.
Ms. Davis,
Yes.
Ms. Belcastro,
Yes.
Mr. Grant,
Before I answer the question, this is to be considered for the final, or no, not final, but final consideration.
Yeah, this would be.
This would go to the council.
Yeah, this is to go, Ms. Davis's map to go to the council as the commission's recommendation.
Okay.
How can we be voting with all the members not here?
We have a majority.
I understand that.
Mr.
You have a
Bosnick,
quorum, yes.
will you address that issue?
It's about respect.
we do have legally, you have a quorum. You can conduct business. You have a motion and a second. So, I mean, you are conducting this within the bounds of the legal requirements.
Continuing on with the motion. With consideration to Woodlawn being whole, I would move forward.
Well, that's not exactly the motion that Ms. Belcastro put forth.
I thought it was for consideration with open terms to modification. That's what we heard.
Well, we have a motion on the floor.
We have I'm sorry to interrupt. We have a motion to adopt the Ms. Davis's 2 revised map, the one that you see here. And so far we have District 1, yes. District 2, yes. District 3 is holding at the moment, and now District 4. Do you wish to vote yay or nay?
Come back to me at the end.
District 5? It is not here. District 6?
I'm inclined to go along with,
Is that a yes?
yes.
And District 7?
No.
What's the tally at this point, Mr. Boswick?
3.
3.
We have 3 with 2 still still on hold. Mr. Rockel?
I think as I consider the fact that Mr. Delana isn't here, I'm going to vote no tonight, but we'll vote yes on Monday unless the world turns on its head. So,
All right, no. Mr. Grant?
Yes.
Yes. There are 4 yes, 2 no, and 1 is absent. So the motion is carried.
carries. Okay.
And that's not to say you have a meeting Monday night. There can certainly be some discussion, but this motion has been carried.
Mm-hmm.
For clarification this is just to consider as a recommendation, right?
No.
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 No, the motion we recorded and that the commission voted on was to adopt as a recommendation.
As a recommendation.
As the recommended map from the commission, the map you see, the one that
You're
Dr.
right.
Davis discussed.
I think that's what you're saying, right?
That's
Yeah.
not what he's saying. Well, I don't want to put words in Mr. Harris's mouth.
What is the issue, I guess?
The issue that I'm having right now is that whether or not we're saying that this is the exact map that we want to present to the commission, or is this a recommendation to the commission? To the council.
I believe this is a recommendation to the council.
Right. That's all I'm want. That's all I'm going to be clear.
Is your vote still the same?
Still the same.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Is there any other business that commission members would like to bring up tonight?
Yes, I do. Subsequently thinking about what this Monday meeting will look like, we do need to bring clarity to this map that addresses the west side in full, which means Woodlawn needs to be whole with viable numbers above 55%. So I would like to work with you to get us there.
Yeah, I don't understand, Commissioner Grant.
It passed, but we're still talking about.
The map. No, it's done.
Correct. So we have another meeting Monday, correct?
Why have a meeting?
We don't have to have the meeting.
Yeah, what's the sense of having a meeting if it's already passed?
You're absolutely right. I would then delegate that to the chair to make that decision.
That was my whole point.
Okay, so I digress then.
Let me ask this. Does the county staff feel that they can correct the issues in the map that I or others brought up without the commission having further involvement.
Yes, we already, there was the one correction in the boundary between 6 and 8. That corrected the issue with the equal population districts.
It is clear that even amongst this commission, I think people are confused about the vote we just took. And so I would like to ask if any of the commissioners that just voted, I'd like to give them another chance to, people can still change their vote, right? And then we would have to have a meeting on Monday, and we would have to work to understand what we're voting on and what it means, so that we can bring closure.
Need to be a motion to reconsider in order to change anything this evening. There would need to be a reconsideration of the vote that you all just took. That would have to have a motion and a second and pass. And if that passed, then there would then be a motion to basically do the vote again, and we can do that. But in order to do that, there needs to be a motion to reconsider the vote. And
Is
the
there,
vote,
yeah,
and I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
The vote that you just took, as to recap, was a motion to adopt the commission map that was introduced and discussed this evening by Dr. Davis. That is the Baltimore County 2-2 revision map. It's right on. It's up on the screen right now. That was the motion. There was a second. It was a 4 vote majority that voted to adopt that map. That's where we are right now.
Mm-hmm. So is there anyone that voted yes that would like to change their vote? So then we open this up. We have a number of days to go through, meet in small groups so that we understand exactly what we're voting on and what it means.
Okay, any other business before we end the night? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Someone? I want to go home and watch the NBA Finals.
Me too. Me too.
Are you happy with the map? Yes, no? If you're not happy, then bring a motion.
Clearly.
The change, but you can't make the change now the way the vote is.
Right.
I would like to make a motion to reconsider the vote.
Is there a second?
Second. Second.
Okay,
Jesus Christ.
any discussion?
The discussion is, again, for me, it's clarification. I thought when we voted the first time, is that we were voting for not only this map, but additional maps to be recommended to the council. But now my understanding is only this map.
Yes, that is correct, Mr. Harris.
Well,
So we've got a motion, we've got a second.
Call the roll.
Call the roll.
Call the roll. Mr. Rockel?
Aye.
Ms. Davis?
She had to leave. She had to leave.
No, I'm sorry, Tom. I'm here. I'm being a little bit accosted right now. What is the question?
So
I can't. Please, I cannot. The maps have been there for the commissioners.
So we lost her vocal.
I'll come back.
Yep.
Ms. Belcastro?
Yes.
Mr. Grant?
Can't do it. Yes, I'm changing my vote to nay.
Excuse me?
Mr. Grant, please clarify.
I don't want to adopt.
Do you want to reconsider?
Yes, I second the reconsider, or I second it.
You vote to reconsider?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Mr. Harris?
I vote to reconsider also.
Yes?
Yes.
And Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Dr. Davis, are you available?
Yes, I'm sorry. What is the question? I apologize.
There is a motion to reconsider the vote that was just taken to adopt the map, that the Baltimore County 2-2 revised map. There is just a motion and a second to reconsider that vote and essentially do it again. Are you supportive of that or not?
No, I'm not changing my vote.
Okay. So that motion does pass by a vote of 4 votes. Actually, 5 votes, I'm sorry. 5 votes with 1 against and 1 absent. So the motion is carried. Is there a motion, is there a new motion? Or is there a motion to adopt that map again? Or how does the commission wish to handle that?
Can you help me with a statement that I can say to withdraw it? I guess I make a motion to withdraw the previous vote recommending this map to the council. Is that acceptable? Yes. Okay, that's what I would like. Does anyone second it?
I'll second.
All right. Mr. Rockel?
Aye.
Dr. Davis?
Oh my God, if I can get people off of my back, please, yes, aye. Oh my God.
Ms. Belcastro?
Yes.
Mr. Grant?
I hate to be the one to X, but like my brain is all over the place. We're withdrawing the map.
Are you voting to withdraw that?
Withdraw the map, yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
And Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
All right, so that was unanimous.
Okay.
So the map that is here is withdrawn at least at this time. And
Can I address something? Sorry, are we in other business now? Is that okay? If so, can I address something?
We're in other business.
Is it okay? So I do want to address something. It's clear that our colleague, Commissioner Davis, is being accosted by someone outside, and that was very public. I also want to address, personally, what I've experienced throughout this process. I just finished an ethics commission complaint after being verbally accosted publicly by someone on the east side, Josh Sines, to be blunt. Additionally, over the weekend, I considered resigning from this commission because I became aware of threats to myself about this process because people weren't getting what they wanted. This has been a grueling process to go through. A process I will never participate in again. And it's unfair because everyone here for the last 4 months has stepped up for their community, to serve their community, and do the best that they possibly could to contribute to this historic moment here in Baltimore County. And there are people even in this room that have subjected me to threats and to undesirable behaviors for stepping up and again, contributing to the county. And again, it's clear that my fellow commissioner, Michelle Davis, is also receiving currently that same type of behavior, and it is unacceptable. Unacceptable. It's clear that this commission isn't ready to move forward. And I do want to say to my fellow commissioners that if we are going to finish this, we need to figure out and sit down and take it seriously about how we move forward, because we have one meeting left. And so I don't know if that means staff, we need to talk about process of voting, because maybe some of us haven't done that before. We haven't made formal motions. We haven't gone through this process in a really technical way where it's consequential. Maybe we need to provide statements of what will be said when we adopt a map, or just kind of play that out so people are aware of what is coming down the pike so that we can feel prepared. Maybe we can work on that over the weekend or the next couple of days. But again, I want to echo, it's unacceptable to threaten people on this commission for stepping up to serve their communities, and I'll leave it there.
And Chair Rocco, if I may.
Yes.
If I may, I have never in my life encountered anything like this, especially from a racial stance. And I will not tolerate it. I will not be bullied. I will not be accosted, and I will not refrain from stating to the bully that you will not defame my character. Let me help you understand clearly. I am completely whole in who I am. And when this process concludes, I will continue to be whole and confident about that which I have been here attempting to do. And for this reason, I will not return to this building nor any other public forums, and I will be contacting the Baltimore County Police to file a valid report about this more than lackluster experience. And if I have to, I will file charges. I will file charges. And that's all I'm going to say. And for this, I am disconnecting. Totally unacceptable on every single front.
She's right. We have been experiencing a lot of outside everything. And I think that the work that we've been doing, we have tried to maintain humility, nobility. And so we deserve to be protected. And so I'm staying with Dr. Davis.
Truly, I'm standing with Doctor. I'm backing my commissioner, fellow commissioner. I said this before, and I'll say it again. When I came here, I did not come here thinking about District 6, nor the councilman that put me here. I came here looking to address Baltimore County, and that's the job that you asked me to do. Now, whether you like it, my decision or not, it really doesn't matter to me, but I'm going to do the job that I was asked to do, and that was to represent Baltimore County.
All right, so we have a meeting on Monday, and I will ask the staff to address that issue with maybe a memo out to the commissioners about the significance and the wording of motions, so we
can
all
definitely
have
do
a
that.
better understanding of that.
Given what has just taken place, do you want us to have a security detail here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We would have hoped that that wouldn't be necessary in a forum like this, but it's clear that it is necessary, and I think it's unfortunate, but that's just how it is.
Yeah.
deeply inappropriate that people can't control themselves when they don't get what they want. This has been an incredibly thoughtful commission, a commission that has worked tirelessly to provide as much as humanly possible based on the feedback that we have received. This map brings together almost everything that has been requested. I know it falls short on a couple of people, but oh my goodness, Commissioner Davis worked to bring together all the communities whole that have requested it, to bring together all the communities that have asked to be in a single district. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know if we can provide what the community wants at this point. I'm feeling quite lost today, to be honest. And I don't know how we proceed, and we have one meeting left. I'm not sure if I want to continue on this commission at this point, or what the work will yield when we get to our meetings on Monday. It's Thursday. I don't know how we move forward. But what I will say is there has been immense public pressure throughout this process, pressure that has been difficult for this commission to navigate. It has made it difficult for us to do our work. It's been really disappointing. And additionally, a lot of people have worked really hard to try and deliver for a lot of people across this county with this map. And I don't know how we move forward. I don't.
Thank you for sharing that, Lisa. Commissioner Belcastro, to that point, I agree. I think that we are at an impasse when it comes to these maps. And with that, that's why I do offer to reintroduce that motion earlier of presenting both of those maps as those final consideration. The 2-2, Willa.
Commissioner Grant, especially in light of the fact that we don't have a full commission roster tonight.
Okay.
Let's wait until Monday to do that.
Would it also be okay if we communicate via email to make a final decision before before we meet, so we can come here with a game plan on those maps?
Yeah, certainly. All right. So we're going to hold Monday's meeting. We have some motions that we'll consider on Monday, which hopefully will get us to the finish line. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all. Good night.